the objective of a Feel Good Friday, we talk about the Feel Good Friday Challenge, to step up today, this weekend, and do something outside of yourself for the greater good. And so what was it inside of you that said, you know what, I need to get out there and serve and volunteer? Because I think for some people, sometimes you sort of have this idea like, I'm just one person and I'm not really going to make that big of a difference. So what was it like for you that got you started volunteering, and what was so great about it for you?
Well, I think for me, having had a chance to live around when my husband and I decided that we wanted to start our family, we were very purposeful about our choice to move to this community. This community is so unique and it is so wonderful for so many reasons that we just don't have enough time to cover today. But we were very purposeful about being here. And I think one of the reasons that this organization, or that this community is great, is because of the work of the United Way. So it was a real no-brainer for me when I thought about, I want to get involved, I want to make sure to impact my community. How am I going to do it? I immediately thought of the United Way. As you had alluded, I had served in a lot of different capacities, from board member to partner agency executive to employee campaign coordinator to I think my most favorite volunteer opportunity was to serve on the Community Investment Committee.
I love that.
And that committee, have you served on that committee?
I haven't. But
oh, you need to serve on that committee.
Runs it, and I just think it's the coolest idea.
It is fantastic. It is a great way to get individuals involved in the work, in the very deliberate process, in the way in which the United Way utilizes the dollars that the donors ask us to invest to address the community's problems. And we look at the applications, we meet with the leadership of the organizations, we tour their facilities, we come back, we deliberate. I mean, it's very purposeful investments of donor dollars. And I've served on that committee for 3 years, and it just makes me feel so good because it is a firsthand seat or firsthand knowledge to be able to look at everything that's going on in this community. I might have an interest in children's groups, or I might have an interest in emergency services and disaster and those kinds of things, but there's so much other work that's going on around us, and it's a great way to just really be able to take that all in and appreciate it. So I really encourage anyone who wants to experience the United Way firsthand. That's a committee that you want to serve on. It's a great committee. I
just think it's the coolest idea. I don't know any other nonprofit that's doing something similar where the average Joe like myself gets to walk in and sort of appropriate the monies that's coming into the organization. I think it's great. So
yeah, it's not me, it's not the board, it is the volunteers. We are truly a volunteer-led organization, and we cannot do it without the volunteers. So
one of the things that you didn't really touch upon that I do want you to do is the impact of volunteering for yourself personally. I mean, what have you taken out of that volunteer experience, and maybe as a mom, or sort of maybe shifting your paradigm and your view of the world, or what's that experience been like for you?
Well, I'm going to give you two brief examples. Certainly as a mom, as I said, I have a 6-year-old son and a 2.5-year-old son, and I've been volunteering not only here in this community, but wherever Joel and I have lived. It's just something that I grew up experiencing, and something that my parents did, something that they expected us to do. And I always feel like I get so much more out of it personally than I contribute. But as a part of the Community Investment Committee, I had a chance to go over to the Fargo Youth Commission a couple of years ago and see their program. And I learned about a little boy who is an immigrant child. He is 6 years old. He goes to Lincoln Elementary. He's the only fluent English speaker in his family. Now, keep in mind, he's 6. And so when he gets out of school at Lincoln at 2:42, then he walks the approximately 10 blocks over to the Fargo Youth Commission, and then he stays there until the end of the program at 6:30 or 7 o'clock. I can't begin to understand the pressures on this little 6-year-old, but what I do know is that from 2:42 in the afternoon till 6:30, he can go and he can have a snack. He can have someone help him with his homework. He can play with his peers. He can act as an interpreter for his parents for a lot of the programs that they need to make sure that their family is taken care of. He has people in this community that cares about him, and he knows that, and his family knows that. And that to me is such a feel good. And I think it just resonated with me because at the time I had a 4-year-old, and I'm like, there's no way my 4-year-old could walk this 10 blocks and act in this really big capacity for his family to serve as an interpreter. But because of the United Way and because of the partner agencies that we work with, this young person had tools and skills that he needed to make sure that he could do something positive and productive with his life, and just to kind of add some support and structure to his life in what must be very overwhelming at times. And so it just was an aha moment for me that, wow, we really do have a day-to-day impact on so many lives here.
You do. It's incredible the footprint that United Way of Cass Clay has.